Good morning, my lovely people. It is Grace here by Cadonia. I am in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and things are going just the way they should be. Yes, indeed, here I am with my helmet, with my boots, because I have a very special creature back in my possession. Yes, indeed, here she is, the magnificent beastie, my KTM 690 Enduro. She is back by my side after all these years of the pandemic, and we have brought her roaring back to life. After 2 years locked up in my friend's workshop while I was stuck in Thailand with the borders all closed, she needed a little bit of work to get back on the road. So we did all the usual things. We changed out the battery, we flushed all the fluids, and changed all the filters. However, she then also let me know that the seals in the rear shock were no good at all because we soon realized that the bike was very, very bouncy and all the oil had leaked out of the rear shock. But that was no sweat because fortunately there are some very talented mechanics here in Phnom Penh and they have all the equipment and all the knowledge. So my rear shock was then rebuilt within 2 days. So I'm absolutely thrilled about that. The only thing left to do was to pull off my rear luggage racks and remodel the back of the motorbike so that my number plate stays attached to my motorbike when I hit the whoops. Let me show you that very, very excellent renovation in slow motion. As you can see, I have decided to ditch my heavy Touratech luggage racks and go rackless because weight is a priority now that I'm doing more off-road. For the single track, I want to be as slimline and lightweight as I possibly can. Now, you would have laughed if you could have seen my face when I first got back on this big single after 2 years. I've been riding smaller bikes. I've been riding the KLX 230. I was riding two strokes as well. I was riding the Gas 300 while I was in Thailand for all this time. And of course, the CBR is a 650, but it's an inline four. So going from that to a big thumper again, what a blast. I had absolutely forgotten how much fun this bike could be. So rest assured that I am on top of the world right now, even though all I'm doing is going down the street in Phnom Penh to do my final Khmer lessons. You might recall that I've come to the realization that if I'm going to have a really good time in the backwoods of any country, that I had better learn the language and learn it fast. So when I landed here in Cambodia, the first thing I did, after I went to see my motorbike, of course, was line up some Khmer language lessons. Now, for the last 4 days, I've been going to see my friend Nikki twice a day, so 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and we have covered so much material. I have literally learnt thousands of words in Khmer, and the challenge now for me is just stringing them all together at the appropriate time. I keep saying my brain is full, and that's exactly how it feels. Now, I have no particular talent for languages at all. I'm really, really bad at it, in fact, but I am pretty stubborn. So I've set myself the goal of being able to have a basic conversation with people out in the villages, and that's what I'm going to do. Here in the upscale part of Phnom Penh, almost everyone can speak a bit of English, but the moment of truth will come the day after tomorrow when I finally get out into the villages and see if I can communicate. Now, this area where I'm riding along, it's all pretty lovely. This is the riverside area in Phnom Penh. At night, this area is pretty lively. You've got people out walking and exercising out on the riverfront, and across the road, you have heaps of swanky bars and restaurants. This place has some world-class eating and drinking if that's what you're looking for. Now, the morning traffic around here is super mild. As you can see, the roads are really big and everything is pretty cruisy. I am getting used to riding on the right-hand side of the road again, which is obviously the opposite of Thailand, and most of the places where I've been spending time. But I haven't been run over yet, so far, so good. Now, it's only 10 a.m., and in this really urban area, everyone is still just waking up. As you can see, most of the shops are closed, and most people are still bleary eyed and still getting their first coffee. But for me, there is no time to waste. I have language to learn and motorbikes to talk about. Now, one of the fantastic things about Nikki, who's been teaching me these last few days, is that he's a biker too. Although he chooses to ride on the road, mostly on large BMWs, he can certainly appreciate my life choices, and even better, he set me up an entire module of language on motorcycles. So, motorcycles, where are you going? What are you doing? For sure, everyone can talk about that. But Nikki has also helped me learn the words for all the spare parts and for complaining about how I broke this one or that one, which is super useful. So now I can actually go into a shop and explain in Khmer that my clutch is toast. Now, that is not true, of course, my clutch is just fine, touch wood, but if I should ever have a problem, now I can explain in Khmer. So everything is coming together. The bike is finally ready. I've had my rear shock rebuilt. And in the meantime, I have been learning Khmer intensively so I can have a conversation and explain whatever problems I create for myself. I have also been meeting up with some fantastic people who live here in Phnom Penh. One person gave me access to a slew of GPX maps showing the trail around here, helpfully noted with degrees of difficulty. And the other day I made a new acquaintance who turns out to be a former Dakar level rider with immense experience in off-road motorcycle setup. So as you can imagine, I have been learning as much as I can. So, after 5 days of learning Khmer, the lessons are finally finished and it's time for a celebratory beer. I can't wait to get everything sorted tomorrow and back on the trails for real. I am a happy woman. Here I am, reunited with this epic motorcycle. I have the sun on my face and the smile just won't go away. Final thoughts on the bike setup. I need to change my chain and sprockets, and I guess I'm going to need to get those mailed to me here in Cambodia. At the moment, the bike is geared too high for off-road. I am running a 14 on front and 45 on the back. I would like to change that, so I'm thinking maybe going to 1450, but I'm open to suggestions. If you have any thoughts on this, please leave me a note in the comment section of this video. I would love to hear from you. And similarly, if you have easy access to chain and sprockets for a 2012 KTM 690 Enduro R and you feel like helping to ship them to me, I would be really appreciative. Because getting access to parts is not always the easiest thing in the world here. But you know what is easy is being happy when you get the sun on your face and your motorbike back. Alright, I am off to fang around town and meet some more cool people. I will catch you soon.